Today we're going to be talking about the one-touch system. Now, first of all, just to be clear, what is a system? A system is simply a predetermined way to do things. And if you have a predetermined way to do things like a checklist, you're much more efficient and effective, and you don't have to spend any time and energy trying to think of how to do this. You've already decided this is the process that I am going to do in this system. And the one-touch system has to do with anything that comes into your onto your desk, whether it's an email, whether it's a letter, whether it's discovery or a document from opposing counsel, anything that comes in. This is the process that you go through. So you don't have to have different processes for your email and your different processes for your snail mail. You will have a single process that you run everything through. And it makes you much more efficient and effective and focused on what you're doing. So presumably you've set aside a time where you are going to review emails and the mail. Now, you may review emails more often than that. I discourage that. I think that you should review your emails, maybe at the most twice a day for the reasons that we're going to talk about. Okay. So something comes to your desk, either an email pops in or a letter or a colleague throws a file on your desk. Something's come to your attention. So the first question is, do you throw it away? Or delete it, right? If it's an email, you're going to delete it. Or if you're really concerned about somehow you might need this, archive it, but get it out of your inbox. So if it is not something that you know that you're going to use, and these things are you see them and you know instantly. Don't put them in a pile on your desk. Toss that into either the trash can or the recycle. If you're going through your email at your desk, you should have, the round file. Boom, gone. Off your desk, out of mind, takes no energy, right? If you pile it on your desk, it does absorb a certain amount of energy because you've designated by putting it on your desk that you're going to spend time on it again. The point is spend no time on it ever. All right. Can you throw it away? No. Okay. So then what's the next thing? Can you delegate it? All right. Now, if you have people that are working for you, they have specific jobs and things that they have to do. And some of those responsibilities should be taking stuff off of your desk. So as an example, if it's a marketing piece, I had somebody doing my marketing, so it would just go right to them. I would just, forward the email, or I would put the advertisement or whatever it is in their inbox, and it'd be, and then they're going to deal with it. Okay. Worst case scenarios, I might have a due date. I might say, please address this by this time, put a little sticky on it, and maybe have a tickler system for me. Oh, I need to remember that I gave this to whoever. Another example, we had a criminal defense firm. If police reports came in from the district attorney, they're going to come to me because I'm the attorney of record, but I don't even need to open the envelope if I know what it is. I'm going to send it to my paralegal who will scan it into the system, make sure that it's properly organized, categorize it if it needs to be, record it in some fashion so that we know that we got it, and in certain cases, summarize it. All right. All of that before it comes back to me. When all of that's done, then it can come back to me. But our system is, from the get-go, unless there's a super compelling reason why you have to read this right now, delegate, just get rid of it. You don't need to review everything and then decide to delegate it. You know what works in your office. You know what you need to do. So delegate it. Again, spend a minimal amount of time, just long enough to know what you're dealing with. Okay, let's say you can't throw it away. Let's say you can't delegate it. Then the third question you ask is, do I save it? Okay. So is it something that you don't have to deal with right this second? It's not a hair on fire thing. You got a police report, or you got discovery, from opposing counsel or whatever. Do you absolutely have to look at it right now? No, you don't. You can set a time to look at it in the near future. So you might have 10 days to respond. Well, does that mean you have to read it the second it shows up? No. You can put it at a time when you can be focused. And this is the value of time blocking. So what are a couple ways to save it? What am I talking about? And again, these could be paper files or electronic files. It doesn't matter. One would be in the client file. So let's say I found something of some interest. There's really nothing for me to do with it, but I definitely don't want to lose it. I'll just put it in the client file. Like maybe it's a letter from the client. I read it. It doesn't require a response, and I put it in the client file. Okay. Or I might delegate it for somebody to do something with it, and then they'll put it in the client file. Okay. I mean, it could go something like that. The point is that you don't have to necessarily deal with it right now. The second thing is a date file. So hopefully you have planned your week out, at least 1 week out in advance, so you know what's going on. And you should have, say, if you've watched my video on time blocking and setting up your calendars, you'll know that you need to set aside time because stuff's going to come up, right? So you get a response from opposing counsel. You get interrogatories that, maybe they're delegated. Okay, you get interrogatories, you delegate them to whoever's going to resolve them. They're going to come back to you. Do you want it back on your desk, or do you want it at a due date file? So you delegate it and say, I need these responded to by X date, and then put it in that file. And then when it's time for you to review it, you look at that file and you go, okay, now I need to review it. Now, what I did, and I suggest you do what you're going to feel most comfortable with, but what I did is I had a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday file. And so if the due date, if I had, sent the police report to a paralegal and said, hey, I need this back by, say it's Monday, I need it back by Thursday. Okay, so I would put a note or something in the due date file. So when I opened it, I would go, did this get done? And if it did, now I want to review it. Okay, now I want to see what's going on. And that could be about anything. It's a question of when are you going to have time to deal with this, right? You got a motion and somebody responds. When are you going to deal, when are you going to deal with it? You got 10 days to respond. When are you going to do it? Do you have to do it right now? No. But do you need to do it soon? Yes. So you need to find a place to put it so that okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. All right. Let's say you can't throw it away, you can't delegate it, and there's a level of urgency that means you don't want to save it. Okay, so the last category is to do it. And I would say that there's 3 categories of that. One is what I call the 2-minute rule. Okay, if something comes in and you can address it in 2 minutes, just do it. Get it done, out of here. If you can do it in 2 minutes, it probably doesn't even need a response. So think about that for a minute. But if you can do it in 2 minutes, just do it, have it done. The second is today. Okay. The email comes in, you don't have to respond immediately, right? If it requires more than 2 minutes, it means that the person is going to realize that it requires you to think about or do something about it. So really what you're talking about is having it done today. Where are you going to put it today? It's urgent enough that you need to do it today. Now, if you say that everything that comes in is so urgent it has to be done today, you're going to have a really tough time managing your schedule, because not everything needs to be done today. You need to put things where it's most effective and efficient for you to respond. And then the last one is what I call hair on fire. Right? It's the thing that requires you to drop everything to deal with it right now. Okay? These are pretty few and far between. Okay? These are really pretty few and far between. If you think everything is hair on fire, then you really need to manage your time better, because not everything is hair on fire. At worst, it's a today. But most stuff can go right here and to save it. And, saving it might be 24 hours, it might be 48 hours, it might be a week, but saving it in a short period of time. When am I going to get to this, right? Because it needs a considered response. All right, so the rules of one touch for anything that comes across your desk. Ask yourself in these order: can I throw it away? If the answer is no, if the answer is yes, done. If the answer is no, can I delegate it? If the answer is yes, boom, it's gone. If the answer is no, can I save it and run it through the process of how am I going to save it? Have a system that works for you, that you will use, how you are going to save it. Just don't throw it in a pile on your desk. This is what I'm trying to get everyone away from. Do not throw it in a pile on your desk. Or, I got some piles on the floor in my office, which is a bit embarrassing when I teach this, but it's music stuff. So, I need a better filing system for it, is what it is. If you can't save it, if it truly is a do it now, and this is probably going to be, I would say 5% or less of the stuff that you get that you got to deal with right now, and then figure out, can I deal with it today? The answer is most likely yes, or is it really, truly a hair on fire? My experience is truly hair on fire stuff comes by phone. All right. I hope this is helpful.